Howdy nerds, my name's River. Welcome to Wind Swirls and Leaps. This is going to be a YouTube channel dedicated to my love of all things analog. So if you're into fountain pens, inks, and paper, journaling, planning, Hobonichi, traveler's notebooks, morning pages, and stationery in general, then this will be a channel for you. My love of analog certainly doesn't stop there, and I hope to make content involving all sorts of creative endeavors. I'm really into reading and typewriters and film photography and commonplacing and all sorts of arts and crafts. Really any hobby that gets me off screens and in the present moment. I've wanted to make a journaling and fountain pen YouTube channel for many years now, so your support would mean the world to me as I get started. I'd love if you subscribe to my channel, but most of all, I'd love if you left a comment down below so I can start connecting with this beautiful, active, and generous community. The journaling and fountain pen hobbies have brought me so much joy in the past few years, and I even met my spouse in the comments of their YouTube video review of the Pilot Custom 823 fountain pen. But that's a story for another day. So thank you so much for watching, and with that, let's meet at my desk for my 2026 Hobonichi Haul Part 1. All right, so let's get started. I figured we would start with the two covers that I got this year. I got one A5 and one A6. The first is this beautiful A5 cover called Field Sky. I just absolutely fell in love with everything that Hobonichi put out this year with this artist. I got a couple other things from this collection as well. And yeah, I'm so obsessed with this blue. This is probably my favorite blue. And I love the way that you can really see the art, especially on the back side. The clouds over here are just so beautiful. I love nature, so when I saw this, I mean, it was kind of no-brainer. Although I will say, I was a little hesitant about picking this one up just because in the United States, now we had to order a book with a cover. Now, if I didn't have to buy a book, you know, this would have been no problem, just add it to the cart. But I did take a little time to think about it, decide if I wanted it or not. But then every time I saw it in a video, I was just kind of blown away by it. And I was like, well, if I have an extra cousin, no big deal, right? Like, it's a notebook, I'll use it for something. Even though I have no plans to use it as a planner in 2026, I just had to have this cover. I love that in the past couple years, Hobonichi has really gone all out with the nature covers. As you can see, I'm a really big fan. All three of these, you know, they obviously remind me of each other, but they're also different in their own way. And yeah, I had to add it to my collection. One thing I really enjoy about it is that the inside is this really bright white. I feel like it's pretty rare to see a Hobonichi cover utilize this really bright white, and it just really stood out to me. The combination of the white with the blue is so beautiful, and I actually really love when they use just these really plain ribbons with nothing at the end. Obviously the things at the end are always really cute decoration, but I thought that this was a really good choice for this cover. So in addition to that, I also got the 100% orange Squirrel Squadron cover. It is so precious. I can't get over the little pink underwear of this squirrel. It's so cute. It's got these little like nut dangles that are so cute. I actually really love that with this one they didn't carry the pattern over to this side, and I mean it goes inside underneath the pocket, but something about this plain orange and then the plain white tabs, it's just like really beautiful color blocking to me. And I love art where you can see the strokes of the medium, like you can see the marker in the drawing of the squirrels or in the illustration of the squirrels, and yeah, I just really love that. The inside is so fun. It's such a beautiful yellow, and this green and the sun and the squirrels going on their little adventure. So yeah, I'm really, really happy that I picked this one up. In terms of the planners that came with it, so as I mentioned, This one came with a Hobonichi Cousin. I don't really have any use for this, but I did recently start morning pages. I started morning pages on September 1st, and I have just been flying through some pocket-sized notebooks. So, you know, if anything, in the future, I can use this as a morning pages journal. And then with the A6, I actually got the Arts and Science planner. So this isn't the cousin, it's the planner. And it's really beautiful. The only reason I got this one was simply because I wanted to try it out. I have used, you know, the regular original Hobonichi planner before, but I hadn't used this Arts and Science one. It's really nice. It's much more plain, a little bit more sophisticated, I'd say, because it's mostly just black text and then the Sundays are in red. So it's a little more professional looking, a little more plain, a little more sophisticated. And I just tried it, like I said, to do something different. We'll see how I like it. I'm planning to use this as a creative journal, like creative memory keeping. I'd love to be able to, you know, glue in some photos from the day, any ephemera that I pick up that day, just a little bit of junk journaling and sticking in memories of each day. One more thing I wanted to say about this cover is that part of the reason I got it is because I knew it would pair so well with my camp cover. This cover is my very first Hobonichi cover I ever got. It's probably my favorite of all time. And I love the color, the texture, the embroidery. I love camping, I love hiking. And this is what got me into Hobonichi. And this kind of felt like a little nod to this. Obviously they're not the same, but something about how charming they both are reminded me of one another. Okay, so next I'd like to talk about my weeks. I am so excited with these Hobonichi Weeks covers. So this one here by the same author as the Field Sky cover, it's called En Route to Kumamoto Port at Dawn. And then this one is Be Not Defeated by the Rain. This beautiful calligraphy. I had to get both of these. They both really speak to me in different ways, right? Like this one, the poetry, the analogness of it. You know, we're all paper people, so we love the art of calligraphy. And I also really love the orange spine. It reminds me of that crayon that's called Mac and Cheese Orange. Yeah, huge fan of the aesthetic of this and the fact that it has the date. I don't know, just it's so good. And I love that it came with a pencil board. I love when the weeks come with their own specific pencil board. I love the size. I love the horizontal format. It just works for me. And I do have a little bit of a history with the Hobonichi Weeks. I used it for the first time in 2024. This was my weeks from 2024. I loved this cover. I felt like this cover was a little bit underrated. I don't think it was very popular, but I loved looking at this all year. And I used this as my general life planner. It was, you know, messy, nothing aesthetic about it, just all of my daily and weekly tasks and appointments. And it was really successful. So what did I do the next year? Of course, I switched it up, and I really shouldn't have. So for 2025, I've actually been using the Sterling Ink Common Planner as my life to-dos daily planner. It's A6 size. It was great because I got to use some of my A6 covers. However, I didn't like it as much as the weeks, but last year was a year of experimentation for me. I should say this year. It's still the same year. I'm still using this. But yeah, this year has been a year of exploration. And in addition to using this as my daily planner, I also had 2 Hobonichi Weeks. So these were the 2 weeks I picked up for 2025, and they haven't been as successful, especially this one. This one has actually been a complete and total failure. But this one, it hasn't been my fault. It's because the paper was so bad. God, do I miss machine number 7, Tomoe River paper. That old paper was just delicious. As a fountain pen user, it honestly makes me so sad that it's gone forever. So this I was planning on using as a health and wellness weeks. I am chronically ill, I'm disabled, I'm always going to the doctor. I had a major procedure this year, and there's just a lot of health things I wanted to keep track of, but I ended up absolutely hating using this weeks because of how bad the paper was. Even with ballpoint pens, it was just so bad. So this I ended up abandoning. And then this here, this has been more successful, but it's really been something that I've used on and off. I've used this as a book journal. My favorite part about it has been keeping track of what books I've read in the monthly section. I just print out all the book covers of the books that I've read that month, and I just love the way it looks visually to jog my memory of what I've read. And then in the weeks, I was basically writing what I read that day and any thoughts that I had about it. And then in the back, in the notes section, I printed out the covers of the books and then some little stars, and I was meant to do some reviews. This didn't end up happening. I think, I don't know. I think part of it is that I read a lot of books. I try to read 52 books a year, and sometimes this felt like too much to keep up with. But I just went through different phases because of life where I was really committed to it, and other phases where I just completely wasn't even thinking about it. So I would like to work on this in the future. So in 2026, the reason I got 2 weeks is because I'm going to return to one as my daily life planner, daily to-dos, weekly appointments, things like that. And I'm going to use this one for that. And then this is going to be my book journal, but in order to keep up with it more, I'm going to make it more than just a book journal. I think it's going to be not only a book journal, also a media journal, like tracking what media I'm watching besides books, and also a little bit of a hobby journal. Because I'm starting YouTube, I'm thinking that this might be a good place to keep track of all of my analog hobbies and how I'm interacting with them on a weekly basis. Now, I also have this same week's, again over here, the En route to Kumamoto port at dawn. The reason I have 2 of them is because this past year, my spouse and I bought a Hobonichi Weeks for my mom, and she has been loving it. It's been so fun to see her use her Hobonichi Weeks. Every time I see her, she's pulling it out of her purse, she's making phone calls, taking notes in the notes pages. She has, all of her appointments scheduled in the monthly section. And yeah, it's just been really cute to see her use it. So for 2026, I bought her another Hobonichi Weeks so that she can use that going forward. I'm going to give her one of the freebie pens. I ended up getting 5 of them, so I'm going to give one to my mom. And then in addition to the weeks, I have this older leather cover that I'm going to pass along to my mom. I think that she's going to really enjoy it. I originally bought this for myself, but I ended up not being the biggest fan of the color. I thought that it was going to be a really like sage-y green, and honestly on camera it probably comes across super green, but in person it's actually a lot more blue. It's kind of like a Tiffany blue, if you know that color that I'm talking about. But it's really beautiful, and even though it's not my favorite, I certainly don't want it to go to waste. It's in such good shape. It has this really cute engraved part up here that says pen with a little arrow so that you can clip your pen in there. And it's just really beautiful, nice, high quality leather. And I'm not using it, and I know that my mom would love this, so I'm gonna give her this in addition to the weeks and the pen, and I think she's really gonna enjoy that. All right, so I also wanted to pick up this book called Pastel. This is by the same artist who designed this week's and the Field Sky cover. I just, like I said, fell in love with this artist's work, and the opportunity to purchase a big, beautiful coffee table book like this, I mean, I couldn't pass it up. I'm not going to show all of it, but as you can imagine, it's just beautiful, glossy prints of his work, and I've already done a look through of it, and it was just so relaxing and enjoyable to look at his art. And in the back, there's an interview. They have it printed in both Japanese and English, which was really nice. And yeah, I'm so happy I picked this up. You know, I love books. I love being able to interact with coffee table books. There's something about, you know, interacting with someone's art in this way. So I'm really happy to add this to my book collection. All right, getting towards the end here, I also picked up 2 notebooks. This one here in A6 is called Another Night of Falling Star Sparklers. And this last year was a design that they had on the Hobonichi Weeks and also the different hones. And this was by far one of my favorite designs, but I didn't need a hone. There was nothing I was going to use a hone for. And as you saw, there were 2 other weeks that I ended up liking more than this. But seeing this come back this year as a notebook, I mean, it just completely surprised me in the best way. I think it makes such a beautiful notebook design. I'm so happy that they turned this into a notebook. And another thing that I love about the notebooks is that they seem to keep them for many years. Now that they've been putting different designs on the notebooks the past couple years, they're like all still available. So that makes me really happy that if in the future I wanted to pick up some more of these in either A5 or A6, they'll be available. Like I said, I recently started practicing morning pages, and that's definitely what this notebook will be used for. I also picked up this beautiful horizontal notebook. I'm telling you, I think Hobonichi was listening in on me because I had been talking to my spouse over the summer about how badly I wanted to have a horizontal notebook. Something about writing and being able to follow the page longer versus having to move your hand more felt like something I wanted to try. And then Hobonichi went and released this beautiful horizontal notebook with the beautiful art that's also on the weeks. So obviously I had to pick it up. My plans for this notebook are actually kind of special. I think I want to turn this into a little project where I print pictures and journal about the times that my partner and I spend outside. Like for example, we recently went camping. Over the summer we went to the beach, and those times are always so special and enjoyable to us. And I thought that this would be a really cute way to remember those times. And yeah, just basically make a little scrapbook of our favorite times together out in nature. Okay, so lastly, I'll just touch on the accessories that I got. Obviously, I got some of the special edition free gift pens. This year I got 5 for the 3 Hobonichi Weeks and the 2 planners. So like I said, I'm going to give 1 to my mom, I'll keep 2 for myself, and then I'm going to give 2 to my spouse. I love the color of it this year. This like purpley reddish brown is one of my favorite colors ever, and then combining that with the blue, I just think it's a beautiful combination. And I love these pens. I don't necessarily love the 0.5 refill that they come with, so I'm actually thinking about picking up some 0.7 or 1.0 refills to replace all of the black ones in my pens. I have a few here, as you can see. I think I'm missing I think it was 2023, the year that had the navy blue and the brown, so I think I'm gonna have to pick one of those up on Etsy or eBay or something like that, because I always loved that one, but I don't know why I didn't get it that year. I don't remember if like I didn't order from the Hobonichi website or what, but yeah, I'm gonna have to pick one of those up. And then I also got 2 of the little robots this year for both of the planners. I love it. I think it was such a cute free gift. You know, it's obviously not super heavy, but it's actually more substantial than I thought it would be. So I'm just thrilled to have a cute little guy like this on my desk. And then I also decided to pick up the A6 100% orange squirrel folders. I just couldn't get enough of this art. I think it's so cute, especially this guy with his giant little nut that he's chomping on with his big puffy cheeks. I just think it is so precious. And these folders are obviously super useful to bring ephemera along with you, and they fit in any of the covers, which is really fun. In addition to these, I also have the new Hobonichi tabs that they put out this year in the colors that are represented in their planners. I actually didn't buy this myself. My spouse bought these for themselves, but turned out that they didn't enjoy them because they're actually really small. We thought that they were going to be the size of regular book tabs, like the tabs that you buy on Amazon or whatever to annotate your books, and these ended up being way smaller than that, like half the size, which was a little bit of a surprise. I guess it was just hard to tell the actual size of them online. So my partner didn't want them, they gave them to me, and I was like, I mean, yeah, I'm happy to take them from you. I'll definitely use them. I love the colors. I think that this line of products that they put out was such a great idea, and I loved a lot of it, especially the tabs and the pens. I didn't pick it up just because I was, trying not to go too crazy with accessories, but I'm glad that I have at least one of the things from the new collection. All right, so with that, I hope you all enjoyed this video of my 2026 Hobonichi haul. I will say, I think this is going to be part 1 of 2. I do have a couple more things coming from the 2026 collection, and all I'll say is that my childhood self would just be absolutely thrilled with what's coming. So stay tuned for a part 2 of this video. And I'm also thinking about making a video that's my entire Hobonichi collection. So every cover I've ever bought, all the accessories I have. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, and I will start working on it. Thank you again for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!